Thank you, Robbie. And hello, everyone. I'm Ivan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Notion. It's amazing to see everybody here today. Like Robbie mentioned, we're excited to be here and celebrating all the wonderful things our community is building with Notion in Europe. This is the first time we're doing an event like this, so thank you for being here with us today. I want to start our session today by anchoring on our company mission. At Notion, we want to give every person and every business the ability to tailor software to solve their problems. And as a company, our mission is to make that a ubiquitous reality. So ubiquity is very important for us. We want Notion to be a useful tool that everybody around the world can use. And I still remember the first time, seeing someone using Notion in the wild. That was about 4 years ago. And I think not long after we launched 1.0 of the product, and I walked into a local coffee shop, one of my usual spots in San Francisco, and I saw Notion on someone's laptop. That was the very first time I saw Notion in the wild, and it was so shocking and heartwarming at the same time. It really reminded me why we're working so hard on building this company and building a tool that everybody can use to solve their problems. And at the same time, when we are talking about ubiquity, we know the world is much larger than just the San Francisco bubble, right? So in order to stay true to our mission, Notion has to be a global product, and we have to be a global company. So today, I'm proud to say that 80% of Notion users are outside the United States. So imagine, hopefully soon, you're walking into a coffee shop in Milan, in London or Berlin or Amsterdam, after COVID, of course, and see someone using Notion. And I think that truly touches on our goal of building a useful and a global tool for everyone. So before I kick off the sessions today, I want to share 3 things that touches on our company mission and with a focus on Europe. The first thing is about the physical location. Europe is so important to us. Right? A lot of our business and a lot of our user community are here. And there's no better way to serve our community than to being here with you all physically in Europe. So today, I'm excited to announce that we're opening our very first international office in Dublin, Ireland this August. And we're lucky to have Robbie to head up this European office and to build out a team that's fully dedicated to help more people access Notion in this part of the world. And if you know anybody who's based in Dublin and can be a good fit for us, please let Robbie know. We're excited to grow the team here, and this is just our beginning of our story in Europe. The second thing I want to talk about is about languages. Last year, we launched the Korean translation of the product, and they really opened up Notion to so many new business in Korea. So here, we're going to do the same thing with Europe, starting by introducing the French translation of the product later this year. Right? This is what marketing page looks like. And this is what your sidebar will look like in French. And this is what the new page will look like. So our team is working around the clock for this language launch, and there will be more language come after French. So stay tuned, please. So I talk a lot about ubiquity, about our physical office in Dublin and our new translation of the product. I want to step back for a moment to talk about our company history and inspiration. I started Notion because I was very inspired by early computing ideas and computing pioneers. And there was a generation of computing pioneers in the 60s and 70s. And they believed a world that almost everyone can modify software tools that they use every day, just like everybody can read and write. And this is Ted Nelson. He's one of the computing pioneers, right? He's the person who coined the term hypertext, hyperlinks. He pretty much defined the web that we know and use today, every day. And Ted really cared about how we can use computers beyond just papers, beyond just typewriters. When you open a word processor, oftentimes you're still looking at this piece of page, right? So TED really want us to escape this paper prison, paper metaphor of computing. So today, I want to introducing a new feature in Notion that calls back to a 40 years old idea that TED had, and we call this sync block. So this is the problem we set out to solve with sync block, right? How many times across your Notion workspace, have you copy paste the same piece of content in different places? And when you update in one location, you really wish, I really wish have the update in other places too, right? So sync block solve this problem that we face every day. And to show you how it works, here's a demo. So that's sync block. It will be available to you today. To use it, all you need to do is to copy paste between different pages. Then now you will update one location, you will update other locations as well. And we think you will love it. So the last thing I want to talk about is about our newest community, which is our developer community. And you probably know that we launched our API last month. And to tell you more about that, I want to hand it over to our head of platform, Cristina Cordova.
Thank you so much, Ivan.
Welcome.
Since we launched our API into beta last month, we've seen what our community has built on our platform. It's opened Notion up so that everyone, developers and non-developers alike, can tailor the product to their use case. It's a whole new set of building blocks, and I'm so excited to share more of that with you today. To take a step back, our goal with the API was to offer something powerful enough for large companies and teams of all sizes to integrate Notion into their key workflows and intuitive enough for individuals everywhere to immediately get started. We launched with the JavaScript client library, and within days, we saw developers on our platform release client libraries in Python, Java, Go, and more. It's thrilling to see our community make our API more easily accessible to developers out there. And like Ivan said, ubiquity and global access are hugely important to us. So this has been inspiring to see. I'm happy to say we're seeing huge early activity with the API across the board. We were running our private beta for a few months prior to launch, but our public beta API traffic just in the first month post-launch has been tremendous. I can't overstate the role the community has played in all of this. Before launch date, we already had over 30,000 developers signed up to learn more to go on this journey with us. We had a community of over 1,000 early adopters and teams constantly giving us feedback, asking questions, and making what we were building better as part of our private beta. Today, we have thousands of developers building integrations to our API, making millions of API requests per day, and a wonderful community on Slack with nearly 2,000 developers who share what they're building and learn from each other. We're excited to have the API out in the wild in beta, but the most exciting part is what everyone out there is building with it, already making Notion radically more powerful. Now, many Notion users have shared their journeys building with the API, with code and no code, and we'd love to show some of their work off.
So the Notion API is finally in public beta.
Over the coming weeks and months, we're going to see a ton of different integrations and apps being created to take advantage of this Notion API. But even if you are a non-coder, even if you're not a developer like me, you can start using the API today.
This arrow is finally available because this is what the Notion API allows us to do.
It's opening up a whole world of possibilities for syncing, integrating, and automating our Notion system with hundreds of other applications and platforms.
And the possibilities here are literally endless.
Imagine if Notion could automatically send a text to a friend whenever you finish a difficult project, a tweet out to your followers whenever you reach a major milestone in your life, or even sharing the task that you're working on today with your peers with a click of a button.
Let's see how it works. Okay, here goes nothing with our first API experiment.
Today, I'm going to tell you how to connect your Notion database to Google Calendar.
I can add an event to my Notion calendar, and I can actually have that sync over to my Google Calendar. Here it is.
Integrating with your Google Calendar and Todoist. And now that it's done, I'm just going to head on over to my phone and check Todoist to make sure that my to-do list is actually populated with the correct fields. And as you can see, there it is. So yeah, a lot of things are already possible and pretty useful already.
We are going to send this paper to my Notion database. Oh, but the highlights are there. That's pretty cool.
Wanted to give a quick shout out to Samuel here, who made this really cool Notion blog with Next.js. That's all completely open source, so it fetches data with the Notion API.
Now we have Notion synchronized with the file system, which finally...
It means that Notion can become, from here, a genuine central hub.
Now there you have it.
If you're interested in learning any more about the integrations we highlighted, we'll be sharing links in our digital swag bag. There were a few integrations many of our users have been asking for that were highlighted, and I definitely want to call them out. An integration with Google Calendar has been a common request for years. Now it's possible. But now you can also email notes to Notion for safekeeping, another huge and popular request. But never forget anything again. Just dash off a note and it'll be waiting for you in your workspace. And now you don't even need to write down notes or tasks to record them. One of the most surprising and delightful integrations we've seen makes it possible to send tasks with your voice using Google Assistant. All of these integrations will greatly improve the personal user experience over time. But the API was always intended to give teams of all sizes and whole companies new capabilities. One of Notion's strengths is that it can centralize all your information across teams, functional areas, and projects. With the API, it can now truly be the central hub for all of your tools and all of the information they contain too. No more context switching, silos, having information scattered across dozens of tools. Now you have one home base for your team that works how your team needs it to. Today, we're adding to this, launching a few new integrations with companies we love. This is the first time anyone is seeing them. The first is with IFT, which is turbocharging Notion as a command center that interacts with many other tools. Notion is now part of the IFT ecosystem and can be connected with nearly 700 apps and devices in new and remarkable ways. You can now sync tasks across Google Sheets and Notion. Maybe some of your team wants to work in Google Suite, or you want to share data with them in that format. No problem. This is an automation that keeps all your lists fresh and up to date. The beauty of IFT is how easy it makes it to connect Notion with other apps. You don't need to know how to code. The interface leads you through building a recipe that links Notion and Google Sheets automatically. Just start with the Google Sheet containing your list. Choose which pages inside Notion Workspace that you want to sync your sheet to, and select the initial properties you want assigned to anything you add to the list, like a priority or a status. You can see that when we add the task Squash Editor Bugs to our Google Sheet of engineering tasks, it immediately appears in your Notion to-do Kanban board with the properties we defined. Now folks who only want to work in Notion don't have to worry about missing a thing, and vice versa. Taking it one step beyond that, whenever you do add a new task to your Notion board this way, you can have it automatically ping a specific Slack channel to let folks know there's a new task waiting for them. For instance, in this example, we want Slack to send a DM to Sam when we add a new task for him to the list. And voila, Sam is pinged with the alert and link for easy access, so he can see what's next on the docket. We can't wait to see what personal and business workflows you build with IFT. This next integration leans a little more towards the enterprise side. @Spoke provides a modern workplace service desk where anyone in your organization can ask a question in Slack and be given immediate access to answers drawn from knowledge-based documentation or a wiki. For example, in your team's people or HR channel, you could ask how to access your company's vacation policy, and bam, the answer and link to the relevant page in your wiki would be served up right there on Slack. No need to context switch or go hunting. As you all probably already know, Notion makes a great home for documentation, knowledge, and wikis. Today, @Spoke launches an integration with Notion that puts all this information at users' fingertips. Here on the right, you can see a standard Notion page instructing an engineering team on the right way to review code. The @Spoke integration can send a request for this info, and if an answer to a user's question lives in Notion, @Spoke will proactively surface it. Simply give @Spoke permission to access the information you'd like to share with it in your workspace. Choose the Notion pages that you want to give the system access to, and those pages will be indexed in @Spoke's library of possible responses. Here you can see Jonathan asked a question, and he was immediately met with a response from Notion. Not only did he see a preview of the answer here, but he can go directly to the link of where the information lives for further reading. This makes it easy for any person to get the help that they need and saves the time it takes to find the right page yourself or ask a colleague to find it for you. It makes your company's knowledge in Notion available on demand all the time. Finally, we're thrilled to be launching an integration with our friends at Tray.io, industry leaders in automation. This new connection makes it easy to sync data between Notion and Salesforce, helping you get your customer data to teams that may not spend every minute of every day in Salesforce. In this example, a product team wants to gather feedback directly from customers on gaps that might exist in the product, including how a gap could impact ARR. It's a common workflow, and I think most of us know product teams would prefer not to go into Salesforce to gather this data. Now, a product team can add this feature gap information into a Notion database, like you see here. And on the Salesforce side, we created a field for product gaps on a customer's profile to capture the incoming information from the sales team. A salesperson now has the full list of feature gaps to choose from for a particular customer. And in Tray, without any code, you can set up the workflow to choose a trigger, perhaps whenever a new product gap is added to the Notion database, and connect it to the right field within Salesforce. You'll see a full list of available product gaps, and sales can enter those notes and projected ARR impact right into Salesforce. And because this is a two-way integration, it ends up right back in the product gaps database for the product team so that they can see the financial impact of certain features and prioritize their work accordingly. This is just one example of what you could do with Tray's Notion Salesforce connector. You can build much more customized to your team's needs. Our integrations with IFT, @Spoke, and Tray.io are available starting today. See the links in chat and in the Notion digital swag bag. They are the first of many rollouts to come. And they join Notion's already growing platform alongside partners like Zapier, Typeform, Integromat, Automate.io, and many others. We're so thrilled with how many of our users have begun to take advantage of these integrations so far. Looking into the future, we're excited to invest deeply in empowering developers on our platform. As one example, we'll be launching an integration directory where our users can explore what's been built on the Notion platform, and developers can have their work discovered by everyone. Keep your eyes peeled for that later this year. I know there are some developers here today, but I also hope everyone here has a better sense for how you might use the API to change the way that you work. The API represents a big leap forward for Notion's product, business, but also this brilliant community. Notion's platform represents a new way to build with Notion, but hundreds of thousands of users have been building Notion setups without the API in the form of templates and community creations for years. This has made Notion a truly community-driven company with many opportunities for everyone here to get involved. With more on that is our COO, Akshay Kothari.
Thank you, Cristina. And hello, everyone. I'm joining in today from my home office here in San Francisco, although I wish we were all together in person someplace nice in Europe. When I started in 2018, we had no sales or marketing. Some people tweeted about Notion, but we didn't have any official community. Well, in the last 3 years, this has all changed. And I want to share 3 stories from the field. This is Frances. Frances is based in London. When she joined our small ambassador community, she was building fun setups that people loved on Twitter. Then she went on to launch her own website, the Notion Bar, to share templates and help other people build fun Notion setups. She then went on to get certified as a Notion consultant to help not just people, but also companies build what they need. In fact, just last week, I heard from her that she decided to go all in on Notion. She quit her job and will now be focused on building this business full-time, which is just incredibly amazing to watch. It's not just Frances. Today, there are dozens of consultants and hundreds of ambassadors like her who are teaching new skills and powering a whole marketplace for templates and ideas. They have built their own brand and businesses on top of Notion, and we're really, really heartwarmed to see this. The second story I want to talk about is the startup program. We started this in 2019 with a singular focus on helping every startup instantly get an operating system for starting a business. We work with incubators around the world to help provide $1,000 of credit to their portfolio companies. Station F, Paris's largest startup campus, was one of our earliest partners and has since introduced over 100 startups using Notion to run their companies. And not just the $1,000 credits, we actually work with them to create a variety of templates that helps founders quickly get the best format for investor updates, for meeting notes, product roadmap, and so on. A prominent investor in Europe recently told me that they see about half of their investor pitches today on Notion. But it's not just Station F. We now have hundreds of incubators and accelerators who have in turn helped introduce Notion to thousands of startups across the region. We're very, very grateful for their help towards this. I don't tell these stories to say how awesome Notion is. It's honestly about how awesome each one of you are, because none of this would have happened without everyone here who has shared, taught, built, and talked about Notion out there in the world. So huge thank you to all of you. Lastly, I want to leave you all with a sneak peek. One of my favorite parts of the job is to talk to customers and people and understand how they're using Notion and what they're building. Many times, customers will show me how they've structured their workspace and the incredible templates they've built internally. Some of these templates are so beautiful that they could be packaged into a full software, and this is happening on a weekly basis. But it's still pretty hard to discover these templates. Well, we're changing that. I'm really excited to share that we'll be launching a beautiful, brand new, much more robust template gallery in the next couple of months. This will be the one place where our community will be able to search across thousands of templates and even submit your own. We didn't want to build a static place where you just download things. We want this to be a space where you can shape, showcase your work, and reach a wider audience. The goal is to build in more interactivity over time, so this truly becomes a user-driven library of inspiration. I can't wait for you all to see this gallery. We also hope you'll contribute to your favorite templates to this collection. So we've come a long way, but at the same time, we still feel like we're very much at the beginning. Notion is used today by hundreds of thousands of teams, and we've seen all the ways it's become the heartbeat of the company. We've seen a shift even more so in the last year, where people want to work with the tools that respond to their needs, not the other way around. And this goes back to the mission that Ivan shared. People work better when their tools fit how their brains work. We see a day where this becomes a ubiquitous reality. Think of all the things we'll be able to do together. We're so thrilled that you have joined us on this journey. With that, I'll hand it back to Robbie.